God, the bags under my eyes can carry a week's worth of shopping, I swear. Of course, one of the books I'm going to read this Valentine's Day is Morning Glory Milking Farm.
What did she say?
I'm joking. I'm not reading that. I'm joking. I promise, I'm not reading that. Hello everybody and welcome to Tales in Teacups. I'm Megan, and in this video I want to talk about what I think people should read this Valentine's Day, or around Valentine's Day, but you know what I mean. I also am going to list what books I plan on reading. Anyway, with that being said, let's get on with the video and yeah, let's go. I thought while doing this video I would actually do something rather than sitting and talking like I did in my last video. So I'm going to do a Valentine's Day look to match my outfit. Isn't it so pretty? Oh my god, I love it. Hopefully people will comment if I should read the books I point out, and you can say whether you plan on reading any of the books I suggest. Or maybe if you've already read them, you can say if you liked them too, or if you didn't like them. So yeah, I might look off to the side because the mirror is here. Yeah. I literally can't form words today.
Have you ever had a dream that you once?
At least I remember to put contacts in, unlike last time. That was bad. I can actually see this time. Alright, let's get started. I probably should put my hair back first. Oh my god, I think I've literally just broke my headband. I did not break my headband, everything's fine. You can still see where the mark is from my glasses. I'm gonna have to cover that up. I'll do that soon. Should I do the influencer thing where I do that and like show people what I've got? Like, ooh, wow, look. Awesome. Anyway, I think I'm actually going to, start with the books that I plan on reading, and hopefully people can tell me if they agree. Although the original list I made, I've actually read some of them already now since writing that list. So some of the ones that were on my list to begin with was Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. And honestly, it was okay. I nearly DNF'd it because it was a bit slow paced at the beginning. Editing Megan here. I've changed my mind about the Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Yeah, I'm giving it like 2 stars. It's kind of rubbish. This is why I let my thoughts sit for a while before I write reviews. Yeah, I didn't like it. To be fair, the main character, she was irritating and none of the characters had any depth, and honestly, there was no main plot point. There was like too many things happening really, although I really did like Scarlett's roommate. She was funny and there should have been more scenes with her. Yeah, that's it really. I don't recommend that one. And then I read Not in My Book by Katie Holt. That I really enjoyed. So I think it was a really interesting premise because it's about 2 university students who hate each other, so it's kind of like a rivals book. And I really liked the premise because they ended up having to write something together. And at the beginning of like chapters, they had like mini chapters in between of like things that they'd written already. And I think it was a good story development. There were bits in it where it's kind of like, oh, their communication sucks like really badly. So if you're not a fan of like the miscommunication trope, I probably wouldn't read it, but I still thought it was really good. I kind of guessed what happened, and I also just finished one book last night and I adored it. Like this is on my list of ones to suggest now for Valentine's Day, like other people should read it, and that is Margot's Got Money Troubles by Ruthie Thorpe. I think that's how you say Ruthie Thorpe. And oh, it's amazing. I loved the premise. Although To be honest with you, I don't even think it's really a romance book. I wouldn't even count it as a romance book. Like, the romance is kind of like a subplot. Editing Megan here again. Hopefully this is the last one, but I did just want to say, actually, Margot's Got Money Troubles, according to Goodreads, it is just like a literary fiction, so it's contemporary fiction. So it turns out romance is like a subplot. So I don't know, I read it thinking it was a romance, but it isn't anyway, so I'm not saying anything new. The themes in it, like, I would say it's more about like friends and family and difficulties in the world, about motherhood. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was written so differently than things I've read more recently, and I think it right now, like I say, I don't do book reviews straight away. I kind of let things settle with me, but honestly, I can see myself rating it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I would love to hear other people's opinions on it. Yeah, that'd be really great, and I honestly adore that book. The rest on my list, the actual books I haven't read, I finally get to that. I want to read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover in preparation for the film coming out in mid-March. I've already got the book on my bookshelf, so I want to read that soon, at least before the date of the cinema, so I could go watch it, and then I might give my opinion on like the book versus the movie, because I enjoy those types of videos. I would also really like to read the Divine Rivals duology by Rebecca Ross. That has been on my bookshelf forever, and like from the blurb and other people's reviews, it seems very much up my alley. That's another one on my list that I hope to read. I was debating reading Wildfire by Hannah Grace because I have read Icebreaker. I may be talking more about Icebreaker later. Oh, I'm running out of foundation, for God's sake. Might continue that, and then there's the book after that, Daydream. That is definitely a solid maybe. The next one I really want to read, And Now Back to You. This is the second book by B.K. Borison in her, what's the actual series called? I'm not sure, but I'll put what the first book is. And yeah, I really enjoyed the first book. I do think that maybe the first book, the MMC was a little like two-dimensional, but I still really enjoyed it, and I loved the side characters, and I know said side characters who I loved the most will probably be in the next book. So yeah, I want to read that, and I believe it's coming out on the 26th of February, I think. Maybe it's out in March. I'm forgetting, but yeah, I do definitely want to read that when it comes out, I think. I only discovered B.K. Borison recently, and I really enjoyed it, so I want to read more by her. And with that being said, another one on my list is the Love Light Farms series by her. Obviously, that's like a whole series, so I don't know when I would get to it, but I definitely would like to read that very soon. I've heard good things about it. And yeah, I'm really liking B.K. Borison right now. I read one of her Christmas books, adored that. I absolutely love that, and I want the second one of that to come out, which will be coming out like much later in the year, I believe. Last one on my list is Bingsu for Two by Sujin Witherspoon. I think that's how you say the first name. Editing Megan here again. Between filming that and editing this, I've actually also now read Bingsu for Two. It's honestly amazing. It's a YA romance that isn't just like romance based. It focuses on self-discovery and family. Love the found family aspect of it, and I think River and Sarang, the main characters, are so cute, and this is a real like rom-com book. I was laughing so much at this. And yeah, I just think exploring their journey, watching their growth was really good. It was interesting to see like the family dynamics and how family businesses can put a lot of stress in terms of legacy. That was really cool. And yeah, I adored the side characters. I love the side characters, especially Kai. Kai is amazing. Yeah, I recommend that too.
I think that's more than enough books, and I probably won't be able to read them all in like the space of February or March. And I'm gonna call it my Valentine's reads. Let's get on to my recommendations to other people, you know, if you're still watching and stuff. So my first recommendation is definitely, hands down, one of my 5-star reads, one of my favorite books ever, is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is amazing, and I was crying non-stop, but like, yeah, it's still amazing. I don't care that I was crying. I would read it again and again. It's one of those books that it's like, oh, I can never read this again for the first time, and it makes me sad. But yeah, it's got like a old Hollywood glamour theme. It's set like in the 50s at first and talks through to the 80s because it's like got memoir style writing, queer representation and forbidden love vibes. Evelyn Hugo, a Hollywood actress, or a retired one now, wants to tell her life story, including her 7 husbands that she's had through her life, because everybody wanted to know more of that, and she never did any interviews about it. And she chooses a unknown reporter called Monique Grant, which baffles the like magazine. Like, why do you want this unknown reporter? And this huge movie star is specifically requesting her. But yeah, and so she visits, and this is where you hear her full story. And I adored this book because it portrays so much. It portrays like themes of love, ambition, sacrifice, and yeah, honestly, it just left me so emotional. Like, I was wrecked. It was a book that put me in a reading slump, but I would never change not reading it. It really is an amazing book. I loved watching the characters love each other in such a cruel world at the time in Hollywood. And I love Evelyn Hugo as a character because she's never portrayed as perfect. She's glamorous, obsessed with the green dress on the cover. Oh my god, I totally want to make that and cosplay. But she's also ruthless and selfish, but you know, it makes it feel more real. Like, it makes her a person. It makes her like a real person, and her terrible choices lead to the major twist in the book near the end, and honestly, never guessed it. Like, I gasped out loud and kind of scared my husband while doing it, so that was quite funny. Celia St. James is the sort of other love interest, and I love her character as well, honestly. I really adore her character, and their relationship is messy and painful. Nothing is perfect. Again, it just feels so real. And yeah, I think it portrays the sense that, you know, love isn't always great. It can have jealousy, and there's fear, and there's longing as well, the angst in the book. As you can tell by the character, these two love each other and they're queer women. And you're probably thinking, how did she get married 7 times? Well, you'll have to read about it. And I think the themes definitely show the cutthroat time period and setting being in Hollywood. And I think it just discusses the cost of fame, basically. And I think TJR handles the story beautifully. And it proves that, you know, historical fiction can be really diverse. So if you read it, prepare to cry. A lot. Yeah, a lot. So the next book that I'm going to recommend is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Scott, which is the first book of the Knock 'em Out series, which is a small town romance, grumpy sunshine vibes. We love that. Found family. The MMC is bearded, which I love. Naomi comes to help her twin, literally like opposites. Like her twin is basically evil, at least in my opinion. And she finds a niece that she didn't know about. And so now she has no money or job and a niece that has basically been abandoned. So she has, it's a difficult situation. And yeah, Knox Morgan is the MMC. He's the town barber who likes peace and quiet, and as you can probably imagine, Naomi is not those things. Especially considering she now has a kid in tow, which, she's not a young kid, it's not like a baby. The reason I'm recommending it is because honestly, it was just a book that was stuck in my head, and I love the last book of the series. Kind of starts it all off, and the side characters are awesome. Love them, which you get to explore more in the second and third book. I feel like I'm not really reviewing these very well, but I think there's a nice progression of characters. Knox softens his, surly, grumpy personality. And yeah, I was just invested from chapter 1. There was like no slow beginning. It really just sort of happens. Knox felt like a real person. Like he had flaws and he didn't magically change overnight. So yeah, it just felt more real. Like, I think that's really important. That's what makes me love books so much more. And Naomi is such a strong character. She's easy to root for as the main female character. And yeah, I think because she's put in such a high stress situation and still chooses to show kindness and responsibility. Yeah, I just love her. She's awesome. We love Naomi. We love Naomi. Who else has read it? Someone agree with me. Despite it being quite a long book, I feel like it never dragged. At least in my opinion. The characters all felt pretty distinct. Like there was no sort of 2D-ness about them in a sense. And the banter was amazing. Lucy Score can definitely write banter. And I feel like in a romance book, oh damn it, I forgot the pressed powder. In a romance book, that's really important to me. I love it. It's nice to have a laugh in kind of like a rom-com book. Yeah, and I think that there's emotional moments which sort of makes it more real. And honestly, it was just kind of, what's the word? Unput-downable. Yeah, that is my final word on that book, and I recommend it. And the series. The second book wasn't my favourite, but the third book, oh my god, you're like rooting for these side characters. By the third book, I was like frothing at the mouth. I was like, I need to get these guys' stories. I need to get them now. But yes, that is my second book recommendation. And my third one is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. Oh my god, I binged all of her books. They take up a lot of my bookshelf, like it's actually crazy. So The Deal is the first book of the Off-Campus series, which is like a college hockey romance. It has the tropes of fake dating, it's like a bad boy, smart girl. There is Hannah Wells, and she is basically made to tutor Garrett so he can stay on the hockey team and improve his grades, and she exchanges it for a fake date. I can't actually remember why. Oh my god, like I'm recommending this book and I can't remember why. But either way, that's what happens. Yeah, it hooked me immediately. It's funny and charming, swoon-worthy. And I just read it so fast. I read it so fast, and I think there's 4 books, or is there 5 books? I might be getting confused between the other series, which is kind of a spin-off called Briar U, which is also brilliant. I also read all of those books, so that's like 9 books, and I recommend them all. But The Deal is the first book, so yeah, I'm recommending that. I love Hannah Wells, and Garrett Graham is like an awesome book boyfriend. Awesome book boyfriend. Everybody should put Garrett on the list of book boyfriends they love. The side characters come up late in the later books, which, I mean, you could probably guess. Hannah is such a resilient, strong female lead. She's witty as well, which is really fun. I love the witty exchanges. And I just think she's really likable, basically. Did I mention how fast I read it? I read that in like one sitting. I spent the whole day reading that book. Insane. Hannah's traumatic past, I think, is handled with such care by Elle Kennedy, at least in my opinion. Where's my bronzer? Here's my bronzer. Ooh, bronzer, exciting. Yeah, she has a traumatic past, and I just think it's handled with such care, and Elle Kennedy allows her character to grow her confidence slowly. It's not like an immediate effect, which again is good. It's all about the realism for me. I'm sure you can sense a theme. You can sort of read her sort of opening up, and it felt natural. And back to Garrett, he is also really sarcastic, but he's supportive and really emotional. Blah, blah, blah. He's also really emotionally intelligent, which obviously with his reputation on campus at the beginning, you like read it and he has the sort of bad boy reputation and stuff, and you know, he is a hockey team member, so he's just sort of known for sports, and because he doesn't have good grades, some people just see him as sort of like a jock, sort of like a dumb jock, when he really isn't, especially when it comes to Hannah. And yeah, the fake dating relationship feels like has a natural progression, unlike some. And yeah, it wasn't rushed. Like, they developed a friendship at first, kind of thing. And yeah, there's no constant pay drama, which I feel like is a very common thing in college romances, and that bugs me. It bugs me a lot. It is spicy, very spicy. All the chilies, all the fire. But there is so much plot. Like, it really is completely balanced. And yeah, I think it's great. It was heartfelt. Again, the banter was amazing. And all the characters are fantastic, especially because you get to learn more about them in further books should you choose to read it. They're kind of like all standalones, but it's still best to read them from the start, because it just is. Just trust me. Trust me. Hello, kitty. Hi. I am going to put on copious amounts of blush, and I think I'm going to use the Buttermilk blush, which I go very heavy-handed with. Like, I want to look like I've run a marathon on purpose, except I haven't, which is great. So the next book that I recommend, which is honestly, I was debating it, but I'm still putting it anyway, and as I said before, it might come up later. So, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. And I might read Wildfire next, but I kind of put it down for a bit. I honestly don't know why. I think Wildfire wasn't even out when I first bought this. So that was probably it. I kind of get distracted. It's like, oh, the next book isn't out. And then when it finally comes out, I'm already onto a different one. So it wasn't because I didn't like Icebreaker, I do. So again, this is another hockey romance, but it's actually a sport romance, because the FMC is a figure skater, so it's not just the hockey player. So again, you could probably guess it's another college romance. I like college romances, they're fun. Grumpy Sunshine as well, and it's kind of like a reverse Grumpy Sunshine. There is Anastasia Allen and Nate Hawkins. Nate Hawkins is very chipper, and I really love him. Again, he's another great book boyfriend. If you can't gain a book boyfriend from a romance you love, is it really that good? Because honestly, my opinion is no. Basically, it is forced proximity because they are forced to share a ring together, like shared ice time because of a mishap, which obviously doesn't really go down well because they're in each other's way a lot and they both need to practice. Yeah, and Nate, I think, is just so sweet. He's charming, attentive, just, yeah, love him. Serious golden retriever energy, and I love that. I love that vibe. It's a great vibe. I'm going to take this right up to sort of like in my eyeshadow. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I know I'm a bit heavy-handed, but oh well. I think one reason why people might not like this book is because it's not really plot heavy. It's very low stakes and whatnot. I think I'm going to use this palette that my friend got me. It's got a lot of pinks and reds in. Ooh. Anyway, yeah, the plot isn't that heavy, but I think there's some lovely character moments, great banter again. There's sort of a quiet support between the two of them, you know, it's not sort of in your face. It's such a supportive and healthy relationship that develops, and honestly, I don't read much of them. There's quite a lot of drama in some of the books I read, and I get frustrated. It's like, dude, you're clearly reading the wrong books, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I think it could have probably been shorter because of the like kind of lack of plot really, but it's still a cozy story, and you know, it's a sweet Valentine's read. These are cute. I think I'm going to use this one that literally is called Valentine. There's no miscommunication, like no games, just growth and confidence. The side characters blur together a little bit, but I still like love the supporting friendships, the humor and group chats, like the WhatsApp group chats. That's always fun, sort of the warmth. And I'm assuming if I do read Wildfire and whatnot, we're going to learn more about those side characters, which is great. I love when it discusses like sex positivity and therapy and stuff. There's, you know, there's some taboo topics that are getting better now, but I think, yeah, this is one of the first books where I read it where it's like, yeah, no, this you know, this matters. No toxicity basically, and the characters just have great chemistry, you know. Some romances, the characters have no chemistry. I'm like, is this supposed to be a romance? I'm like, what is this? I don't want it, take it back. The next one is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Oh my god, I love Tessa Bailey. I really do. Like, I read all her books and I love it. It's a duology, so there is one after that. Small Town Charm, pretty spicy. Another Grumpy Sunshine one. Can you tell I love that trope? It focuses heavily on like sisterly bonds as well. Like, I love them. It's Piper and her sister's called Hannah, and she's a socialite in LA, and she's sent to her late father's old pub in like a little fishing town, which, as you can imagine, was not exactly received well. Oh wow, that's a lot darker than I thought. We're gonna go with it. We'll go with it. We can blend this. I'm making it work. Yeah, her stepdad sends her there because she causes an absolute mess, and it was kind of like the last straw, so she's forced to go there. Her sister Hannah just decides to come with her to, you know, for moral support and whatnot. And there they meet the MMC, Brendan, and yeah, he's a grumpy fisherman, and you know, he doesn't take her seriously. It's like, oh, you're an LA socialite, like you're not gonna last here. Look at you in your designer clothes and heels in this sort of fishing town. He doesn't like change, he hates change. He's like, well, we don't need another bar, like, you know, we don't need this. We don't need this from this girl who's coming from LA, doesn't know anything about her late father because her mum, like, doesn't like to talk about it. He doesn't like to talk about it at all. And yeah, like I say, best sisters ever, but I still love the romance. I love the romance. Piper and Brendan are so cute. Brendan softens to Piper, you know, he kind of realizes, oh, she's not just this dumb socialite, and she clearly, you know, she wants to work hard to get this pub up and running. And so yeah, eventually Brendan helps, and they're obviously both hot as hell because what romance doesn't have hot characters? That's obvious. Tessa Bailey is the queen of steam. Again, all the spice. All the spice. Love it. One flaw of the book, which I didn't really mind, was it's a tad dramatic sometimes, and there's some cheesy dialogue, but you know, this is a Valentine's Day list, and what we like some cheesiness sometimes. We like the drama.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am.
I will admit, some of the body euphemisms that Tessa Bailey uses is suspicious.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Very suspicious. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I read it, I was like, ugh, but still, I was blushing and swooning. It kind of skirts that line between too much and give me more. And I read the whole duology, so clearly I was like, give me more. I want more of that.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It's like Twilight, but not. Actually, it's not at all. But it does involve vampires and werewolves. Just imagine Bella with Jacob and not Edward. Although, actually, it's like an arranged marriage, so that's also not the case. That's...
Bruh.
That is not the explanation I could give. I don't know. Either way, the storyline was awesome, and there is some raunchiness, a little bit more raunchiness. And it was Ali Hazelwood's first venture into paranormal romance. Like, she usually does just romances, so now I think her second one, Mate, has came out. I don't know much about it, but I do want to read that one as well, because I really liked Bride. And yeah, because it was her first one, it's not really like, it's a paranormal romance in the sense, oh, they're like a vampire and werewolf, but nothing really changes. Like, the world is still the same. It's just like, oh yeah, but they do that. So there is that. And I think I just loved the characters. It is very much like a character-driven thing. I was obsessed with, oh yeah. First, the girl's name, the main character's name is Misery, which, honestly, slay. It gives Wednesday Adam vibes. I love it. So, Misery, I adore that she is addicted to peanut butter, despite being a vampire. So, she doesn't need to eat it. She just really wants to eat it, which is awesome. Love that. And Lowe's, that's the MMC, he's really sweet and protective, which I'm sure you could guess because he's like a werewolf and it's notorious that, you know, werewolves are like the protective one. He's like the alpha, blah, 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 blah. But don't worry, it's not a whole Omegaverse thing. It's not like possessive. It's just like cute protection. Like, he cares. He really cares. And I love that. Why does it look like I've got a bruise? I think I've got some eyeshadow fallout. Whoops. Oh well. So Lowe's is like the older brother and he adores his sister Anna, and we adore her sister Anna. We love Anna. She is so cute. I also love Misery's older brother, Owen. I think he's an older brother. Yeah, he's so cool, and like I didn't like him at first, and we just find out more about him basically, and I really do. I enjoyed his sort of character development. You don't actually see him, but you start to understand him, because obviously Misery basically moves into Lowe's sort of compound kind of thing. And the reason it was an arranged marriage, I probably should have said this sooner, is so the vampires and werewolves can like make a connection, like, yeah, whatever. I am going to add copious amount of highlighter. I want to shine like the sun. So yeah, and I also adore Alex as a character. He's like a frightened werewolf, a tech guy. He's a nerdy werewolf, and I love that. I love that for him. Oh my god, he should get a spin-off. Maybe that's what Mate's about. Who knows? I don't know anything about that, but yeah, I want that. That's cool. Alex is cool. Honestly, I don't have too much else to say about that. It's got a cool plot. I love the romance. Like, it's, yeah, I like it. I don't know. I'm babbling too much. Either way, read it. Read Bride. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. So my next book that I would recommend is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Actually adore it. One of my favourites again. I read it at the end of last year and it's amazing. I haven't read anything like it before. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, The Love of My Afterlife. It's an afterlife romance. Second chance at life. Enemies to lovers, but not really. Just kind of like mutual dislike and avoidance. So, yeah. It features Delphi, who chokes on her microwave burger and dies in her pajamas. And she ends up in the waiting room of the afterlife. And there's crazy sort of supervisor woman who I adore, M, was like, yeah, you're dead. So now you're in this laundry room, waiting room, because it's so inoffensive. And then another guy pops up. They hit it off. They hit it off in this waiting room. She doesn't get his name, and M was like, oh no, it's a mistake. You're not dead. You're just like unconscious. We're going to send you back now. And away he's gone. And, you know, Delphi thinks she's met the one, and he gets sent back to Earth, and she's like, I want to be sent back to Earth. And so M, being a lover of the romance genre, you know, I'm with you. She's like, yeah, no, I'll send you back. You have 10 days to find this man who you literally do not know. I don't know the name of. Apparently his name begins with J. She's got to go on this wild goose chase. She is told that she has to kiss this man in 10 days or else she'll come back. Like, she'll come back. And yeah, she doesn't really want that. And I think this story, it's really amazing because she lives her best life. Like, she's chasing love. She's confronting her past, which is important. What the hell is this colour? Yeah, it's like a burgundy. Okay, yeah, I'll go for that. I don't know if it'll sort of just blend in, but let's see. I loved this so much. And it was one of my favourite books ever because it was just so different. I haven't actually, like, read a book by it. Let me just see my notes. I've got some notes here just so I know what I'm talking about because, yeah, it's like a rom-com, but it was, like, unexpectedly profound. Like, it was hilarious, but also heartwarming. And I would actually really love to read something by this author again because, yeah, I just loved it. I enjoyed every second of it. That looks so stupid. I hate it. I don't know what to do. I might just put black eyeliner on this. So why am I trying to be interesting? I'm not interesting anyway. Oh, bloody hell. So yeah, like I said, the premise just had me instantly hooked. Like, I was just so interested straight away. No, like, leaning, straight away, so interested. It's great. Everything that happens along her journey is so lovely. And oh my god, the side characters are amazing. They're all so cool and quirky. I adore the old man who, like, just doesn't speak. He doesn't speak. He can't speak. Yeah, love him. Mr. Yoon. I think that's his name. There's also the crazy running lady, as I call her, and the librarian guy. Yeah, not giving you names, not giving you names. Like I mentioned before, the afterlife lady, the secretary or whatever she is, she loves romance. That's why Delphi got sent back down. I enjoyed the trope-aware humour. That was good. And magical realism, there's found family. It's just very thoughtful and a big reminder to live your lives to the fullest, basically. I thought I knew where the story was going, but oh my god, there's a huge plot twist. Like, I did not expect the plot twist. I was just sat there like, oh my god, oh my god. But yeah, Delphi is quirky, flawed, sometimes very frustrating, but another character that's just so real. Everything's going wrong! Judas, no! Right, gotta put my pink eyeshadow on again. Oh my god, everything's going wrong. Can you tell I tend to, like, catastrophize things a lot? Because I definitely do. That will do. Yeah, when I say Delphi is frustrating, I did at times just like want to shake her. I was like, for God's sake, it's so annoying. But still, I still enjoyed her characters, and there were such sweet moments in the book, and it's so funny. Like, I laughed out loud a lot. All right. They're cousins, not sisters. That's all right. That'll do. That'll do. It was lovely watching Delphi heal from past bullying. That was like a big topic. She opens up, which I love. She stops hiding from life, which I love. I just think, like I say, I just think it's such an interesting premise again. The things I value most in books are real fleshed out characters, even if they, you know, show their flaws. I want that in a romance book, and I really enjoy unusual premises. So yeah, the love of my afterlife is great. I loved that premise. It's time for lipstick. Considering I didn't put any red on my eyes, I've got to go red to match the dress. Now, I have lots of red lipstick. So much red lipstick. I also have this really cute dusty pink, which is so cute. But no, I should definitely go red. And I've got reds. Here are the 3 reds I'm thinking of, although I've got this insanely bright red. What does match my... I'm thinking this one. I'm going to go with that one. Yeah, I'm loving it. I feel like this bit's wonky. Damn it. That'll do. So yeah, those are the books I recommend, and if anybody's already read them or thinking of reading them, let me know. If you can remember what I said that I wanted to read, I would love to hear people's opinions on the books, whether I should actually give them a go or not. Before I leave, I just want to say that our shop has book-themed Valentine's cards, and you know what? They're going surprisingly fast. I feel like I sound super salesy, like, get them while stocks last. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, our Valentine's cards are on our Etsy page right now, and they're so pretty, if I do say so myself. Obviously, there's the rest of the store. I think we have great products. I'm about to put an offer on for our romance blind book set. I think I might actually just put on all the blind books. I think that's good, because if you don't like romance, you still deserve a deal on other genres. Do that, visit the store, you can follow us in other places. And if you've made it this far, I am so thankful. It is only the 2nd video, so it means a lot. I'm still nervous and a bit babbly, but yeah, I hope that I can build a community here. So I guess I'll see you next time. Bye. I forgot to take my hair out, so I'm just gonna add it in here and like give you the full vibe. Let me show that outfit. Can you see it? Do I look Valentine's-y? I love this dress. Wow! Spin, spin, spin. Do I look like a character from a romance book? I hope so.